when we're on site, is there any technical support? Can we call? Because that's when we're really going to have our questions. We may not be doing an assessment. We don't know when our first assessment's going to be, and we may get well trained today. But if it's 6 weeks from now or 2 months from now, a lot of this is not going to be fresh. And when we're on site is when we're really going to need answers to our questions.
And Mark Fischbacher, who's the person that's been emailing you guys to get registered and help you with the registration, will be the technical support.
And can I also?
We'll have a phone number.
That doesn't mean he'll be available, on any hour of the day, but he's certainly going to be the technical support, and within 24 hours, in most cases, he can get back to you. More often than not, it'll be quicker than that. But go ahead, Laura.
I also wanted to say, this is being recorded, and so I'm going to remind at least my contractors, before you go out for your first couple of audits, it's worth going through this and skipping around, but looking at the places and that you aren't sure of, and kind of refreshing your memory, and also kind of playing around with the app and creating one. You can even take an old audit of yours and just input the data and play with it in that way. So I don't want the first time you guys go out in the field to be the very first time you've tried playing around with this app.
Absolutely. I reiterate that.
I understand that, but that still doesn't mean that we're not going to have questions. And
absolutely.
When we're on site is when we're going to really need the answers, not 24 hours afterwards.
Well, and you can also, if you're not sure how to add a piece of information, you can also just put it in the notes, or you can write it down, and then when you get back, you can figure out how to put that into the report accurately. It's not like you won't be able to record that data in any way if you don't know how to do a part of this app.
Clearly, the first few times are going to be the hardest, no doubt about it, and Brian is probably the best person to talk to as far as having gone through this more than anybody else. So like any software, it doesn't matter if it's a desktop or a mobile app or whatever it is. If you don't use it, it won't be intuitive. The more you use it, the easier it is, and the first time around, it definitely takes a little while to get through that. But if you start using this on a fairly regular basis, I think you'll find that it's pretty intuitive. First time around, clearly questions. So basically, to answer your question, though, is that we can't have someone on call 24 hours a day because we don't know when you're going to call. So I'd suggest two things.
Probably
one,
if
you have particular questions, certainly give us a call. I'm sorry.
It wouldn't be 24 hours a day. It'd be 8 to 5.
Well, yeah. But my consultant, who's the primary service provider here, is on the West Coast. So there's a 3-hour time zone change. But we can certainly try to get back to you as quickly as we can, and we will certainly do that. I just don't know that it will be immediate. If you're out on the audit at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast.
And the folks that are on this training today may not be. Well, I'm sure it won't be all the folks that'll be out there doing these audits. In other words, we're the primary people, but as many assessments as there are going to be, they're liable to be other folks that are not on this. And so that creates.
So between this training and the videos and online support that we can do in a reasonable and practical way, I think we can accommodate what you need. And Laura's comments are exactly correct. If you get stuck on something halfway through and it doesn't make sense, or there's always an option at that point, especially in the first couple audits. Put it in the comments sections, take some extra notes, and then let's work through it afterwards so that you do become comfortable with the way that the app works and the way that you have to collect the data. I fully expect first few audits you're going to have some problems. You're going to just not know how to do something because it